World Athletics has tightened its transfer of allegiance rules to curb talent poaching, limiting federations to 10 transfers per Olympic cycle with stricter caps per country. But what about the betterment of the athletes? Well, to discuss this, we're joined by two of the finest. In studio, I have President of the National Association of Jamaican Olympians, Dr. Neil Gardner, and sports analyst, Dwayne Extol. And remember this guy? Yeah. Good morning. You, Dwayne. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Indeed.
Almost. This has been since the beginning of time, Neil. World Athletics says new rules are designed to protect the credibility of international competition. Why did they feel they had to do something like this now? What was it about the credibility that needed protecting?
First of all, let it be known, I'm not speaking in the capacity as the president of my association.
Okay.
I'm speaking as a former athlete.
Okay.
So I'll be taking the position of the athlete. It seems as though yet again, they fail to recognize that athletes are adults, professionals, worthy of equal respect and opportunities as every other professional. We have nurses who are able to, go overseas and work. Mm-hmm. We have teachers who do the same thing. Wherever the opportunity is, that's where people sometimes end up going. Mm-hmm. If they feel that what their family needs is not able to be met where they currently are, they go where their talent or their training allows them to be able to go. So it's the same thing with the athletes. Yeah. I remember when I was a professional athlete competing, I had to be teaching at Wolmer's while competing, while training. I remember I would go to Franos training at 5 o'clock in the morning, train till 7 o'clock, come down to Wolmer's from UTech, teach from 7:15, 7:30, I'm on my feet, all the way back until after 2. And then I have 3 o'clock training again in the evening. And I wonder why I wasn't even able to be as successful as I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You can't have 2 professional jobs if they both require so much.
Correct.
And so athletes need to have the opportunity to earn a living. I was a young married man at the time, so I needed to have an income to support my family. And we don't respect the athletes enough to allow them to be able to earn a good living, to take care of themselves and their families. It is a job like any other job.
And therein lies the rub, Dwayne, because I feel that in 2026, we are still unaware that it's a job. I think that people still feel that the athlete goes out there for 20.25 seconds and then that's it. Why should they make money? Is that the crux of the problem, the lack of understanding that this is the athlete's life?
Well, because, and thanks for the question, I think what has happened is that they think and look at track and field as just entertainment.
Yeah.
Just pure entertainment.
And your talent.
And again, because we've seen issues in the past where athletes have been able to make something of themselves, people don't appreciate the work that goes in. People speak about Bolt's accomplishments, but the hours of training that happens behind the scenes, just like any profession, as coach said, sorry, you used to coach me. Yeah. So, the hours of training that goes on just to run 9.58, just to run 90.19, it is not appreciated enough. But again, with World Athletics, I think this quota setup, it's limiting and it limits the athlete's potential to earn. Because if your association doesn't step in to look after you, you have to look after yourself.
Correct.
And I think what they should have done, what they could do, when these athletes do transfer their allegiance, the country that takes them in has to pay for the economic value if the athlete goes on to the Olympics. So the economic value lost, the country that takes them. So for example, the young men that have gone to Turkey, if they go on to the Olympics or World Championship and get a medal or score in the top 8, a percentage is paid to Jamaica, to our Olympic Development Fund, so we can continue to build our athletes. But again, the issue lies within the fact that people don't see track and field especially as a serious profession.
Yeah. There's apart from the cap of the 10 transfer applications per country per Olympic cycle, there's a rule limiting countries to just one male and one female transfer from another nation. Is that what it is saying?
Yes.
Sure.
One male and one, what is that?
Well, what they're trying to do is to prevent countries from poaching, and that's reasonable. However, you have to understand that when we look at athletes and their ability to excel, we only have 3 spots on a podium, 3 places on a national team.
Correct.
Unless it's the World Championship and you have a...
Unless you get a bye. But the reality is that the majority of athletes training will not make a national team.
Well,
The
not in
majority of
Jamaica.
athletes training in any country, the majority of athletes training will not make the national team.
True.
And so when you think of Bolt, and you think of Asafa, and you think of athletes being rich, that's 1 out of
Few and far between.
5,000 athletes that's going to make any decent living. Most athletes struggle every single day. They have to pay for their supplements, they have to pay for their meals, they have to pay for accommodations, and all of this will come out of either their own pockets or hopefully if they get a sponsor, then the sponsor will help take up some of that. Unfortunately, however, we have a situation where not everybody gets sponsored. We don't have enough companies in Jamaica to sponsor all the athletes that need it.
And not enough companies who care.
And not enough companies
But
who
even to
care.
that point as well, you look at the global space with sports. It's $1 billion industry.
Correct.
But I think because these companies, and I think we're limiting sometimes our athletes to companies locally, there are opportunities that exist overseas. You think about, I think, kneeling or something that came to Jamaica some time ago. What about expanding your reach to Europe? Because people want to see track and field. I remember at Champs this year, people from Europe came to watch Champs just because, and that's just the pull of our athletics. I think we need to find ways to broaden what we have to offer to sponsors. And again, it is not just because Bolt was a super talent, his personality transcended Jamaica. So I think that is where we have to look as well to see how best we can market our athletes, or our athletes market themselves to get sponsorship.
Yeah. Andrew Cole has joined us, and I want to bring him in a second. I think one of the things, too, that has been, I want to say, lending to this misunderstanding is just Jamaica's extreme talent. We are used to seeing our athletes do so well that I think we are totally unaware of what they are up against when they go to the Olympics versus an American athlete or another country's athlete that is being sponsored by their country, getting everything that they need. So when you go there and you see an athlete who says, no, I don't do anything else but this because my country takes care of me.
Yeah, that's
and then you know, so you have to work 2 jobs plus
This is a
train
regular
in
thing.
between. But we see you go out there and medal. So in our mind, what is it? Where am I complaining? They think the ballpark is, playing field, but it's not.
And remember, as I said earlier, an athlete is not able to secure a meaningful income or livelihood outside of track and field while doing track and field. You can't do it because it poaches on your ability to compete and your ability to train.
Yeah.
So you have to be exclusively an athlete. And because of that, you have to be able to survive as an athlete. I know I'm from the time of the 90s. And when we went to Europe, we would be making sure that we get the little bread from the pasta and thing and whatever to carry up to the room and so on. Because you know what? We're not going to be taken to no restaurant. So we don't have any per diem. We don't have any supporting monies to cover our expenses. And so we have to do what we need to do in order to make it. And when you see other athletes who you're better than, when they go and they say, boy, I have this and I get that and I'm covered by my... It is hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And so to not allow an athlete to be able to potentially earn better somewhere else, that's a problem. I have one last point to make on the matter is in 2022, there were 8 persons or 8 athletes of Jamaican heritage in the semifinals of the World Championships 100 meters. 8 athletes.
Yeah.
And the reason there were 8 is because we had several athletes that represented other nations
Who are on the field.
who were there on the lineup.
They're going to beat us. We have to throw it to the news. This discussion requires much more than the time that we have given it. Given the importance of sport to Jamaica, and we need to understand it. But thank you both for coming to speak with us this morning. President of the National Association of Jamaican Olympians, athlete himself and coach Dr. Neil Gardner, and sports analyst Dwayne Extol. Up next, the second edition of News in 5.